going to conquer, and we're going to take some. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
That's what we're going to do, sweethearts. We are going to go and get some. All right, people, on the ready line. Are you me? Yeah! Are you me? Yeah! What are you?
Read EP Magazine's February issue to learn tips for medical and dental visits with an individual with special needs. Also check out the military section. To read more, sign up for free today at www.epmagazine.com.
Monotony. It comes in all shapes and sizes. Dull, tedious, just plain boring. But what is this? A contender, perhaps? Something unboring by the looks of it. Jabs right at dull, an uppercut to tedium, something that keeps you on your toes, keeps your head on a swivel, a knockout punch to your old, boring workouts. Welcome to Fight Camp.
Oscar Mike Radio is a proud podcast partner of Reach Across America Radio, heard every Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're also big supporters of the nonprofit I Got Your Six, Two Lives at Once. And with every wreath you sponsor through Oscar Mike Radio, $5 goes back to this great organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders battling PTSD. Two Lives at Once pairs these brave men and women together with dogs rescued from kill shelters. In this way, two lives are saved at the same time by saving each other. Donate now. Go to reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio to help. That's reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio.
I remember a time when I was in a not so good place, and these games and these activities and being able to come and have the camaraderie that we have here, it makes me feel like I'm not alone. There are people here that have been through what I've been through. It makes me feel like I don't know, I'm part of something great.
Just let yourself go. Give it a try.
Hello and welcome again to Oscar Mike Radio. My name is Travis, Marine Corps veteran and your host. Oscar Mike Radio is part of the Hubazoo Network. You can find out more on hubazoo.com. I want to thank my sponsors, Joyce Asack of Asack Real Estate, Army National Guard veteran Mark Holmes of Reaper's Detailing and Power Washing, and my supporters, Cason Shaving Company and Exceptional Parent Magazine. So we're coming into the end of Q1 2025. That's right, 2025. And my next guest really epitomizes why I do Oscar Mike Radio. This individual serves, they get out, they become connected to a different part of service, either in the community, for a nonprofit, or in a company. And, this guest epitomizes all of that. Jon Safran, U.S. Air Force veteran, and with a cool backstory. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Oscar Mike Radio.
Thank you, Travis. Really appreciate this opportunity.
Thanks for letting me on your show, and looking forward to telling my story and talking about some stuff coming up. So this is going to be a great time.
So you're with Military Connected. You served in the Air Force. I don't want to like ruin the surprise about what you did because it's really super cool. But you, again, this is just you serve, you got out, and then you found another way to serve. And I think that's a really cool theme for our show. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the Air Force, John.
Yeah. Again, my name is Jon Safran. I'm originally from Philadelphia. Um, when I was in college, I think I was a little too concerned about having a good time and less concerned about the books. Um, One of the avenues that was afforded to me was, hey, let me check out this military thing, right? Went to an Air Force recruiter, and you know how the story goes. They make you a bunch of big promises, you sign
Yeah.
on the dotted line, and next thing you know, you're off to basic. Uh, um, that was 2 months before September 11th, right? Just out of basic and into Air Force Tech School. Um, that was when the planes hit the towers.
Yeah.
So we knew that, okay, hey, this is real. This isn't games anymore. Um, Made it through tech school. Went to Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City. Worked AWACS for a little bit. From there,
That had to
went
be
to
cool.
oh
That'd
yeah
be very cool.
yeah, yeah, it was a good time. A lot of work, a lot of hard work. From there, went to Kadena, Japan, Okinawa, Kadena Air Base, worked combat rescues, fixing H-60 Pavehawk helicopters. I'm aircraft maintenance, by the way. I didn't even say that, but fixing airplanes and helicopters. Saw some action for Operation Enduring Freedom. That was in, summer of 2003 in Southeast Asia. Um, that's my first deployment. A few years later, found myself in Davis Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona, working C-130s. I know you have a little bit of Arizona time for you as well. Um, and in 2007, I got an email, and it was the recruiter for the Air Force One team.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was an email saying, "Hey, you got good records. What do you think about putting an application in and possibly coming in and joining the best aircraft maintenance team in the world?" Right? And as a young staff sergeant, I'm like, "Hey, man, this sounds textbook. This sounds like a fairy tale." And I almost didn't believe it when I first read it, but so I said, "Yeah, sure." I answered the email, and a long time later, after a long security clearance process, um, I found myself in Washington, D.C., working Air Force One. I was there for 16 years, working Air Force One through the Bush Jr. administration, through the entirety of the Obama administration, through the Trump administration, and into the Biden administration. Flew all over the world and got to see and do some cool stuff. And when I retired as the superintendent of maintenance after 23 years, that was May 1st of this year. So I am fresh to the retirement game and still figuring things out. But you know what? I'll tell you, retirement is pretty nice. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Um,
So, I mean, Air Force One is not just any aircraft. When aircraft have to be maintained to the FAA standards, and it's insane from what I understand, but Air Force One's a whole nother level. What was that like, understanding that, hey, you're taking care of the most powerful people on the planet?
so yeah, you're right. Understand that it's basically one of the Department of Defense's number one priority missions. It is and I can't stress it enough, a no fail mission. Um, you have to get the president on time, every time, securely, comfortably, um, and there can't be any mistakes. One of the things that we used to say as Air Force One maintainers is that you you don't walk across the red carpet. You walk behind the red carpet, basically saying, you don't want to be the story. You don't want to be the lead. If you're on the news, then there's a problem. You support the president. You support the office of the presidency, and you do everything that you can to make that happen as seamlessly as possible. And it's quite a journey. It's quite a mission, And they say it's the best maintenance team in the world. I'll tell you right now, it 100% is. Absolutely.
Has to be. Has to be. I mean, nobody else could come close. I know a little bit about aircraft, and I'm like, and I practice shooting aircraft down. So it was just really ironic to see that, there's all these rules before you even flip the switch on to start the thing up, much less when the president gets on board.
Oh, absolutely.
So you do all that for a long time, 16 years of your 23-year Air Force career.
That's correct.
High speed, high tempo, high stress, high level expectation all the time. Like there's never truly a day off, right, John? You're
Yeah. You sure you didn't work there, man?
I'm just putting stuff together. You go from all that to being retired. What was that like? Because it's not the speed that kills you; it's the abrupt stop at the end. I mean, what was that like?
Exactly. Nail on the head, Travis.
Really? Okay.
I'll tell you. You go through your retirement ceremony, and your family and your friends and your coworkers are all there, slapping you on the back and sending you on, and you hang up that uniform for the very last time, and you think, oh man, now what? You know, that transition out can be it can be difficult, it can be stressful, it can be harrowing, to know that you're going from this high energy, high efficient, high performing unit with this team of like-minded individuals who are all facing the same way, right? And to go from there, and then all of a sudden you're not there anymore. It's a, like you said, that it's a pretty abrupt stop. And now you think, okay, what am I going to do now? How am I going to provide for my family? What am I going to do? What am I going to do with my time? Do I really want to be retired? No, I'm still young. I'm still ready to get out there and make a change, make a difference. So to go from that and to go to something else new entirely, it's definitely a challenge that I'm sure a lot of veterans can attest to and can relate to, right? Um, and that's what kind of brought me into what I do now, with militaryconnected.org.
So, to pun intended, how did you connect? Did you connect to Military Connected? Because you're literally, pun intended again, connecting me and other people, veterans included, to this organization that is all about connections.
Right. Um, so it's kind of a funny story how I actually
Okay.
got in with them. But so I've been doing work with other nonprofits, even while I was still active duty. Um, and the founder, his his name is Bob Archibald. The founder, he was doing some work with us in an unrelated event with a different nonprofit, and man, that was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And we worked together off and on over the years. And when I heard that he had an opportunity with this new nonprofit that he was starting, he told me about it. He told me what the goals were, what the mission was. Um, I was hooked, because I knew that this was a service that has not been, at least to my knowledge, has not been offered before. This is a service that is so valuable that that I've never seen anything like it. So I was passionate about it immediately, and I know that it can help people who were and who are in the same position as I am, trying to figure out what to do next with the skills that you already have and how to apply them to your future career. And when he said that there was an opportunity, I immediately jumped on board. And that's kind of how I got connected. And so far it's been a great journey.
So, just for myself and my listeners and watchers, what does Military Connected do? I mean, it sounds pretty rudimentary and simple, but granularly, what do you all do,
Of
please?
course. So really, we're all about advancing the military connected community, right? Our goal at militaryconnected.org is to connect businesses across the country with the best military connected talent. Again, you get highly skilled veterans coming out of these big jobs, right, in the service, and a lot of times those skills don't necessarily translate to the civilian sector into a role, right? And that's where Military Connected comes in. We're kind of a twofold approach. Our goal ultimately is to end the attrition and unemployment in the workforce for military connected employees. We like to focus on the talent engagement, employer education, and I'll get back to that, and data-driven research. All that with our platform, it offers the nation's best veteran and military family engagement strategy, period. The second prong of that is the military advisory services that we offer to businesses. Really, it teaches you the difference between being military friendly and military ready. Companies and businesses, they love to wave the American flag and say, hey, we support the troops. Hey, we support first responders. Hey, yeah. And everyone wants to get behind that, right? But that's different than being military ready. You can be friendly all day, but what does that mean to be military ready? It's the ongoing transformation of a business to successfully attract and support and retain diverse military connected talent, right? It's understanding the hurdles and the challenges that veterans have to go through when they transition out, and that complete shift in mindset from that military focused way of thinking to a civilian way of thinking.
Now, you've been out not long, but long enough. Do you see some businesses say, you know what, this military thing is too hard. I'm not going to invest a whole lot of time, effort into it. And then do you see the opposite, where businesses are like, you know what, this is great. I want more veterans to, be employed at my business?
Actually, a little bit of both. That you
Okay.
now that you say that. I think the media and maybe a little bit of like Hollywood has maybe even glamorized military service to the point it's either one end of the spectrum or the other. Either it's completely out of touch and ununderstandable, or you see the opposite, where veterans are downtrodden, or they're homeless, or they have too much PTSD issues to even deal with, right? So it's either that or the opposite. Yes, we really want to hire military people. We want to hire servicemen, men and women, but we don't know how to market to them. We don't know how to reach them. We don't know how to become educated to where we know what to look for. And that's, again, where militaryconnected.org can come in and help these businesses and help these companies reach those hiring goals.
As you have, start settling into your transition, settling in with Military Connected, how is your role moving them forward?
That's a good question. So my role as the Chief Military Engagement Advisor is to engage with military and veteran organizations, along with the business partners that are looking to hire these highly skilled servicemen and women, and their families as well. I think it's also to strengthen the bridge between our active duty and military branches and the military connected nonprofit that we're doing. And I'll tell you, I'm really proud of this opportunity. I hope it shows that I'm passionate about this, and it kind of scratches that itch of wanting to give back and wanting to make a difference in that military connected community. I've been working with nonprofits most of my active duty career, on my time off, and again, this kind of scratches that itch of wanting to give back to the community, right? So
is it an itch, John, or is it like, hey, you know what, I've got purpose again. I've got purpose, and now I'm not maintaining an aircraft for the most important people on the planet, but I'm taking care of my airmen, proverbial airmen, in this new realm, and I feel fueled with purpose every day I go to work. Is that what it is?
Travis, I thought this was a podcast. I didn't know this was going to be therapy. Listen,
I'm just digging in.
You are absolutely correct.
Okay,
you're absolutely correct. For the longest time, you're being a supervisor or a mentor or a director or superintendent or manager or whatever title you want to be. Um, and for years, you're guiding these young men and women. You're guiding your airmen to make the right decisions and to train them and to do the right thing. Um, and when you don't have that anymore, you don't have that team to help. Um, there's a hole there. There's um, a hole that's not easy to fill, and and you look for something to kind of fill that gap. Um, you look for that purpose. You look for that team. You look for that energy, that drive. Um, so Travis, you are absolutely right. Yes, this it kind of fills that gap and that hole to where um, helping your airmen and helping your teammates, where you were doing that all the time on a daily basis. Um, Through this organization, I'm able to fill that as well. Yes.
So let's talk about
We're having a breakthrough, Travis. I'll tell you.
No, I'm totally like my radar's totally locked onto you. Like I'm on the high power right now back in Yuma. Let's talk about Acme Widget Punchers, and they make widgets. But they say, you know what, we make widgets, but we like this idea of hiring veterans. Now, you said something that really interests me. You're military friendly, and you want businesses to be military ready.
That's right.
And I've got my chief engagement officer for community engagement, and she's like all fired up about this. Wouldn't know an M16 from a Alice pack, but she's motivated, right? And she's heart's in the right spot. How do you come in and get them from military friendly to military ready? And I'm all over this.
So here's a really good example of what
Okay.
you're talking about. A buddy of mine, Navy guy. He was a cook in the Navy, right?
All right.
He was a cook on a battleship, and I'm not a Navy guy. I'm not going to pretend like I know ships, but he was a cook. But he did a lot more than
most
flipping
important guy in the
burgers.
ship, man. Most important guy in the
You're
ship.
right. You're right. And for a lot more reasons than you think, because
Oh, really?
obviously
Okay.
he did a lot more than flipping burgers. Hey, you were a cook in the Navy. Yeah, sure, you knew how to make stuff and bake and whatever, but you were also a manager of a team. You were also a logistics personnel. You were also a supply chain manager. You were also all these different things that encompassed your daily activities, um, that made you the the cook that you were in the service. But again, so much more than a cook. Your understanding of all these different systems and all these different processes and all these different ways to manage your team and people and dollars and everything else, all of those skills, hard skills, soft skills, everything that you learned in the service can be translated to civilian work, to a civilian career, and be very, very successful. That's where kind of military connected comes in, and our ability to translate those skills, hard and soft, into real career, high career opportunities. You know what I mean? It makes an impact. It makes a difference. And again, I think you can see that I'm really passionate about this because I
Yes, which we need that. We need that. So I'm the head of Acme Widget Punchers. I see you talking about this. I'm like, this dude is spitting fire, laying truth. I tell my chief engagement officer, I tell her, hey, you know what? Call Jon and get the 411 on this. Get me the intel. What happens when someone reaches out to Military Connect and says, you know what? I want to raise my military, employment game. I want to connect. How do we do that?
absolutely. So you can easily just go to the website again, militaryconnected.org, or you can even call me personally. But each instance is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, one business's needs are going to be different from another. But one of the things I like to ask first and foremost is there an existing internal veteran network that's already established in your company?
Wow.
And that kind of determines where we go from there. A lot of companies have,
Well, my company does. Yeah.
some type of internal network of where all the veterans can get together or have a program or whatever, even if it's something as simple as just like a Slack channel or whatever it is, we can build from that. And that kind of goes back to the military advisory role and duties that we can do for that company and with that business. Determining that and how much or if any help is needed in that direction. The idea is that we would take whatever job offerings that you have for your company and we place them on our website, right? Using our military network, we would then funnel highly skilled veterans straight to your job postings, utilizing their skills that they already have, these highly skilled veterans, and applying those skills to what you need in your company. Again, it's a system that works, and it is very, very beneficial to the veteran community and to the company as well.
Well, it's one of the things that talking with, business leaders in my communities, some of them have really pushed all in on this. Like, I'm going to take my chips and go all on veterans at the, figurative blackjack table, right?
Okay.
And they're like, Travis, this has been amazing. Like, I had some growing pains, but once I got this down, the payoff has been I can't even describe it. The morale is up. People are energized, and I've got people who love coming to work and do a great job. What's it like for military connected to see that change take place, not only for the veterans you all serve, but for the companies you work with? Because it's not just a spreadsheet here with plus and minus column. There's like people, flesh and blood, emotions involved in all this.
Absolutely. So obviously, rewarding doesn't cover it. It's incredibly rewarding. One of the things that one of the stats I really blew me away when I first started getting involved with these guys is that 40%, I have it right here actually, 40% of veterans leave their job within the first year, and 80% will leave within the second year. And that's because a lot of them will take a position that is quote unquote less than what they were doing before, in like the hierarchy or in the responsibility or the skills that are required. And it's because that company either isn't military ready or the veteran is just taking the first job that they can get because they're so nervous about, hey, how am I going to fulfill these obligations that I have? So when
that was me, by the way. Yeah. I completely did that for those reasons.
Yeah. So to answer your question directly, when you see a service member going into a job that is, for lack of a better term, tailor-made for them, to where they can utilize the skills that they already have and apply them to this company who wants to have them, who is eager to bring them on board. I mean, man, it's poetic. It's that you're helping them, you're helping their family, and you're helping that company succeed.
That's powerful. This organization has been around, they're growing, and you're helping them grow. We're almost to the end of Q1 2025. Mm-hmm. What initiatives does Military Connected, and by extension you, have for your organization for the rest of this year, Jon?
Right. Well, one of the things that we're really excited about, we just recently teamed up with First Advantage. First Advantage is they're another company who do like background checks and a lot of other services. So obviously something like that is perfect for what we're trying to do as well. We also have some other companies that we're excited to tease coming next year that we're able to partner with. And again, that gives more opportunities for the veterans and for the transitioning service members coming out of the service to build this network, right? To build more opportunities for careers and highly marketable jobs. We are very excited what 2025 has to offer for Military Connected, and our partners are as well. So again, very exciting times coming up.
A little off topic, but kind of the same thing. Maybe you can answer this for me. One of the things I hear, not so much for me, because even though I was in a technical MOS, there really was no civilian equivalent. But say you have that military truck driver, that military electrician, that military avionics technician, so on and so forth, right?
Right.
Military security forces, and they go to get or try to get a job in an equivalent field. But that equivalent field says, hey, you know what? Even though you did this for 4 years, 8 years, 20 years in the military, you don't have the civilian certification to do the job in civilian life. Even though you have all this experience, sorry, you're not accepted. You have to either take the test or go through the training for us to even consider you.
Mm.
Do you ever come across, situation like that? And what do you tell the veteran to get around that? Because I, I'd have to think that's a very real challenge a lot of veterans face.
Right, right. Um, I will say that, obviously every business and every company and every hiring entity is different. Um, we certainly can't make a guarantee that yes, you will be hired within such and such,
Sure.
but the goal is to best position them um, and to market them to the best job possible for their skills. So if there are a lot of certifications that are needed for this particular job for this particular person, uh, in that specific case, we probably wouldn't push them towards that. We would probably try to find them another avenue to where they would be a better fit and to where their active certifications can translate over to whatever their job is their civilian equivalent.
Understood.
You
Understood.
know what I mean?
Yeah. No, no. I just think that some businesses, some, you know, trades could, look at a way to make a pathway for those kind of individuals who are highly skilled, highly qualified, um, and have done the job with a lot of experience. So I was curious about that.
Right. Well, and at the same time, a lot of military certifications are transferable to
Oh,
their
okay.
civilian equivalents. Um, there's way too numerous to really go over, but a lot of those can transfer over and can be equivalent. So it all depends, Travis. It all depends.
All depends. Well, one of the things that I wanted to clarify, are you all local to the East Coast Philadelphia area, or you have contacts and support nationwide?
So personally, I'm in the DC area.
Okay.
We're based out of Philadelphia, but we have team members all over the country. Our development team is based out of Ireland. We have team members down south, a couple more people West Coast. So we have a long reach across the country, if so. But we're mainly focused. I don't want to say focused, but we're mainly based out of the Northeast.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, just curious because, I don't want somebody in, Tucson or Yuma reaching out to you saying and not sure how to move forward. You're all doing this. It's a true nonprofit, and folks, I'll have the link to militaryconnected.org in the Oscar Mike Radio show post for a conversation with Jon Safran, U.S. Air Force veteran, worked on Air Force One for many years, and is now with Military Connected. You all are doing this at a very high level and understand the need for veterans to have jobs. It's kind of like, Maslow. You got the shelter first. You got to have work to get the water and food coming in too. What's next for you all in terms of, how can people help you all help others? Because that's always a common theme with some nonprofits is we're here to help, but we need help.
Yeah. Um, you're I love the hierarchy of needs that you kind of put in there. Well, one of the needs that we have is really for people to get educated, right? Um, for businesses and employers and talent management people, HR people to get educated on the facts and the difficulties and again the hurdles that service members face as they transition out of their military career and into similar civilian roles. Um, 70% of veterans will take a step back in their first civilian job, as we talked about before, compared to that similar role in the field that they held in the military. 16% of vets are more likely to be underemployed than their civilian counterparts. Some businesses, the cost of replacing an employee can be 2 times of that original employee's salary. So when when an employee leaves a company, especially a veteran employee, most of the reasons why they leave are preventable. So again, going back to that company or that business understanding what military ready means and being able to understand the needs of that veteran, a lot of those things are preventable to stop that veteran from leaving that business and going somewhere else. Um, so how can people help? It's to be educated, learn the needs of the veteran employee, and again, tying it back to being military ready versus just being military friendly. Go to the website, militaryconnected.org, get educated, learn what that means and what that entails. And as a business, hiring military veterans, hiring servicemen and women, it's only going to be an advantage. These folks want to work, they want to show up on time, they want to be productive, they want to be part of a team, they want to make a difference. And this is a great, great opportunity and a great service that this nonprofit does. And again, I'm very excited to be a part of it.
You're excited to be part of it now. Do you have any other career aspirations in Military Connected? Do you want to support different nonprofits in a different way? What's next for Jon?
Well, I'm still pretty still fairly new to the Milcon team. So currently I'm enjoying making a difference in this veteran community, and I'm very proud of the work that we're doing. And I got to tell you, again, going from one high performing team to another high performing team, it's look, I'm a success story because I feel blessed for what I'm able to do and how I'm able to continue helping my veterans and veteran community and the passion that I have in this field, right? And I know not everybody has that. Not everybody has that opportunity to come out of the service and roll into something to where they're equally passionate about. So I don't take that lightly, Travis. I don't take that lightly. It's very impactful to me, and I hope it can be impactful to your listeners and your viewers as well.
I just want to lighten this up for just a second because I had another guest on my show. Actually, I've had two of them in the last year in 2024 from the Philadelphia, DC area who are, I wouldn't say diehard, they are devout. It's like a religion, Eagles fans. Are you an Eagles fan by any chance?
I think you're looking at my back wall, probably.
Well, probably too. But you said you're from Philadelphia, so I got to ask.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Philadelphia, and like I said, I live in the DC area now. I live in Commanders country, but yeah, I'm definitely screaming "Fly, Eagles, fly!" Great game last night against the Steelers. You bet I was watching it. I've been an Eagles fan all my life. I've been a Phillies fan all my life, a Sixers fan, a Flyers fan. I like cheesesteaks and tasty cakes all day, every day. Absolutely, Travis.
Well, the reason I asked too is Audrey talked about the fact that the Eagles experience really, when she was in the military, they got in their section, had a couple of Eagles fans. They got together and watched the game, and it was part of her military experience. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys booed and snowballed Santa. I mean, what is up with, I thought Red Sox and Pats fans were obnoxious. I mean, you guys snowballed Santa. She's like, that's just part of it. You have to win in this city. You have to
Travis,
win.
listen, I got to tell you, as an Eagles fan, who has thrown snowballs at Michael Irving during the Cowboys Eagles game, we are passionate fans. We boo because we care. We want to see our team succeed, and when they don't succeed, we let them know. But the boos come from a place of love. It's not from a place of hate. Which we just send that love to our Eagles, man. I'll tell you.
I'm punishing you because I care about you. That's what that is. Okay. All right. I love these kinds of conversations. I really enjoy telling these kind of stories, Jon. It never
Oh,
it
yeah.
never gets old because this is what makes the veteran experience so unique. We had very different service times, very different things that we did, and you get out, you kind of find your way, and then you lock on to something that works for you.
Yeah.
So for that veteran in their, last 90, 60 days, going through sleeping through TAPS class a lot of times, I'm not saying you did it. I'm not saying I did it. I just saw what I saw. What would you tell the veteran who's like, oh my God, I'm getting out and I've got to like make this work?
Right.
You've
Right.
done this at a high level. What would you suggest?
My 2 cents to a serviceman or woman coming out of the service, going through that transition period. Obviously, document everything medical, okay, and then document it again. Make sure all your medical records are the way they should be, so you can reflect on that and get your VA payment. Get that taken care of. That's probably your top priority. But a very, very close second is figuring out what you're going to do afterwards. You need to have a conversation with yourself and understand, like, hey, what do I like to do? What aspects of my job do I enjoy? What's the things I don't enjoy? What do I not want to do? That's just as important as what you do want to do. It's important to have those conversations with yourself, because very, very soon you're going to be on your own. And as much as your unit will help you currently, right now, when you're out, they're not going to be there. That support system is gone. So you have to make those decisions and have to make those have those tough conversations with yourself before you leave. Build your network, meet people, shake hands, apply for opportunities that you may not normally apply for. Get your name out there and utilize the network that you already have. If enough people know that you're getting out, someone will take care of you. Someone will give you a shot. Someone will give you an opportunity. And if that still doesn't happen, I highly encourage you to go to militaryconnected.org. It's a free service to veterans. You get on, put your upload your resume, a few questions about yourself and your military service, to where we can best calculate what career opportunities fit you specifically, and let us do our job, and we'll get you in the right path, the right direction. It's a scary time transitioning. It's an uncertain time. Everybody needs a little bit of a support system, a little backing, some help, a hand. Militaryconnected.org can be that for that veteran who needs it. Again, I'm passionate about it, Travis. I am. I hope your listeners and
you've
audience
lived it. You've
take
lived it,
advantage of
and you're living it right now. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been out for less than a year, and you've had to do a whole lot of adjustment in a short amount of time. So I can understand the passion.
Yep.
Well, John, I have had a blast talking with you. Literally, it's just been all gas, no brakes, which is the kind of conversations I really enjoy. I enjoy them all, but these are special. And I just like the fact that you've taken what you learned in the Air Force and applied it so soon, and are now serving again for people who really need it. So thank you for coming on. And any closing words, any thoughts that I may have missed?
Now, Travis, again, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Oscar Mike Radio, for having myself talk about my story, talk about the militaryconnected.org mission, and what we have planned and what we would like to do to help the military community. This is extremely valuable. This is really important, and I'm just glad that you were able to make this happen. So again, thank you very much.
Hey, you're certainly welcome, John. Look, ladies and gentlemen, last year was about the power relationships. The year before, I told you, hey, there's a lot I don't know, and you kind of saw that come together. You heard what John said. Find out what you don't know about yourself, connect with other people to move your stuff forward, and then keep moving forward. So look, ladies and gentlemen, it's right there. I will have the link and the contact information to militaryconnect.org in the Oscar Mike Radio show post. As we say in Oscar Mike Radio, we're Oscar Mike, Mission and Flight. Thank you very much.
The biggest fear Gold Star families have, that their child will be forgotten.
We need to never forget freedom wasn't free.
It's the fact that they give us the life we have now. we should remember them and give thanks to them.
If I can be a part of something today that's going to make the surviving family of any of these veterans, these heroes, feel better tomorrow, then it's worth it.
That one wreath symbolizes one family that was able to smile because of the generous donations.
To sponsor a wreath and honor a veteran, visit wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Thank you for listening and watching Oscar Mike Radio, where our active duty service members and veterans are in action and the mission is in flight. Oscar Mike Radio is an oversized load Co-Sinista One production. If you are a veteran or know a veteran who needs help, please dial 988 and press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line.